I've seen so many men do one of two things. Either pick a course of action and believe just because they picked that course of action that they're locked into it indefinitely. Well, you're not. At some point, if you're doing the wrong things over and over again, that's just stupidity. You can change, you can pivot, you can adjust, even if it's something that you committed to earlier. Another thing that I see guys do is they just stay in the game way too long. Men, today I want to share a concept with you that I came across from my good friend Kip Sorensen. Many of you know who Kip is. He is my fellow co-host and podcaster on our weekly Ask Me Anything. Several weeks ago, he had shared a concept with me, and he just simply called it, "Will it make the boat go faster?" I was intrigued by the concept I'm going to share with you today, and I did a little research. He sent me a few articles, and I thought I would share this concept because I think if more of us incorporated the idea of the "will it make the boat go faster" mantra, we'd be able to use it as a litmus test for the activities and priorities that we set in our lives. If you're anything like me and the millions of men that we reach on a weekly and monthly basis, you know just as well as all of them that we are busy. We are consumed. We have activities and hobbies and interests and kids pulling on us for their attention, and potentially a spouse or a partner, and our own career pursuits and activities. So like we've got 1,000 things to do on a minute by minute basis, but how do you decide what is going to be the best for you? So today I'm going to share with you, again, this concept of will it make the boat go faster? And I'm also going to share with you two other things that are crucial, two other factors that you need to incorporate into your everyday planning to ensure that not only are you living by the "will it make the boat go faster" mantra, but that you're also able to incorporate this towards productive and healthy goals that you, not me, not anybody else, have deemed important. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. The "will it make the boat go faster" mantra comes from a gentleman by the name of Ben Hunt Davis. Ben Hunt Davis was, and I'm just going to read this here. It says here, was part of an underachieving men's eight who in 1998 set themselves a crazy goal of winning the Olympic gold medal in just 2 years' time. They developed a whole new way of working and began challenging every single thing they did with the question, will it make the boat go faster? If it did, they would keep doing it. If it didn't, they'd try something different. By focusing on their performance, their results started to improve, giving them the belief that their crazy goal may not be so crazy after all. On the 25th of September 2000, Ben and his crew won gold at the Sydney Olympics, and now their story acts as a reminder that with the right approach, people are capable of amazing things. I love that story. When I heard Kip talk to me about it, I knew I had to dig deeper. And the fact that you have this underachieving men's rowing team out of Great Britain who were not expected to do anything miraculous or wonderful in just a period of 2 years went from an underachieving team to a team that literally was at the top of the world in the 2000 Olympics. Guys, I think we can learn a lot from this lesson. Will it make the boat go faster? Now, not all of us may have Olympic aspirations, but I still think the principle applies whether you're trying to reconnect with kids or just have deep and meaningful relationships and conversations with them. Maybe you're trying to take your marriage to the next level, or maybe it's been on the rocks over the past several years and you're trying to improve it. Or perhaps you're thinking about how your career has flatlined. Maybe it was on a certain trajectory and something happened and now you're finding yourself trying to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get better? How am I going to make more money? How am I going to serve more people? Maybe your health is struggling. Maybe you're a few pounds overweight. Maybe you're morbidly obese. Maybe you're dealing with a health or medical condition. But if we take this mantra, will it make the boat go faster? I think we can use everything that we do on a daily basis and really measure it against our own priorities and objectives. And this is one of the first things that I wanted to share with you earlier when I was talking about it. If you are going to adopt this mantra, then it's almost an assumption, but I do want to make sure I'm very clear about this, that you actually have goals, that you have a vision for yourself, that you have goals and objectives and things that you want to accomplish in life. I think there's a lot of men out there, and I know this because I talked with these guys on a daily basis, who are just going through the motions. They're just uninterested in life. They're not inspired. They're not motivated. Maybe they've been beat up, whether it's self-inflicted or external circumstances beyond their control, that don't really have any thought about what they want in their life. And if you're going to adopt this mantra, then the first thing you need to do is really consider, what do you want your life to look like in the next month, in the next 3 months, in the next year, in the next 5, the next 10, the next 20 years? If you don't know what that looks like, there's nothing really to measure against. And you can't ask yourself, is this going to help me be more effective and efficient towards those goals? But if you spend some time really thinking about and writing down what it is you want to accomplish in some different areas of your life. I have this journal right here. And if you can't see this, obviously, you can check it out on YouTube, because we are trying to grow our YouTube channel. But this is a journal that I have, and I write in it just about every day about my vision for the day. What would make a successful day? I went and took my second son to lunch today. I go to lunch with one of my children every single week, and I took my second son, and I really spent some time this morning. Not a lot. It doesn't have to consume my time, attention, and energy, but I did spend some time this morning thinking about what would make this a good lunch. What would make this enjoyable? What is the goal of the lunch? Is it just to talk? Is it to connect? Is it to ask him questions? Is it to lead him? Like, what is the actual goal? And then what would actually move me towards that goal? And I would say at the end of our lunch today that I felt pretty good about the conversations that we had and the time that we had together, even though it was only about 45 minutes or so. So I think about my kids. I think about my career. I think about my goals with regards to my health. And I spent a lot of time thinking about it, even before I did this podcast. What do I want to address with you today? What do I want to talk about? What subjects do I want to cover? And not only this, but I think about other topics that I want to cover. I've got a list of about 1,000 different topics that I can cover on Friday Field Notes, because I care about it and it's important. Podcast production, the way that we present ourselves, the quality of the audio and the video that I present to you, are the things that I'm investing in the business going to help this move the needle? But if I don't know what it looks like to move the needle, then I have no idea. So guys, if you aren't spending any time thinking about what your life looks like, what you want it to look like, what your goals and objectives are, just go get our free tool. It's completely free. It's going to get you on the right path. It's at orderofman.com/battle ready. You're going to get 17 emails, and it's going to walk you through what a vision looks like, walk you through objectives in 4 key areas of your life: your relationships, your physical health, your mental, your emotional health, your connection with other people, your finances. It's going to cover the gambit. It's going to cover the entire thing. And it's going to help you identify what exactly you want to accomplish. Now, it might not be perfect, but over time, and doing this every single quarter like I have been now for 12, 13, 14 years, you're going to see tremendous results in your life. Now, once you have your objectives, now you can actually use the mantra, will it make the boat go faster? So if your boss comes to you and says, hey, I have this opportunity that I want you to take advantage of, and you have career aspirations to grow within the organization, then you can very simply say, well, I think that will make the boat go faster. I think I'm going to try it. The other thing I like about this mantra is that it gives you the opportunity to pivot, because at the end of the day, we need to experiment with different things. We might try a different tactic or a strategy at work and find out that it did not, in fact, make the boat go faster. It actually made it go slower. And in that case, what you're doing is you're giving yourself permission to pivot, to adjust, to change. I've seen so many men do one of two things: either pick a course of action and believe just because they picked that course of action that they're locked into it indefinitely. Well, you're not. At some point, if you're doing the wrong things over and over again, that's just stupidity. You can change, you can pivot, you can adjust, even if it's something that you committed to earlier. Another thing that I see guys do is they just stay in the game way too long. Way too long. They don't want to be quitters. They don't want to be looked at as failures, and they're just trapped into the thing. I guess that's kind of along the same lines, but what else they'll do is they won't even take action at all, because they're afraid if they do something, then they can't pivot down the road. And that's not true. You can be in relationships that you realize may not work out, but you want to explore that relationship. You can test hobbies and interests and activities and realize, you know what, that isn't something that I was interested in pursuing. I tried it and it wasn't that great. You can try things at work if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, even if you're an employee and you have some responsibility, within reason, of course, and when appropriate. You can try different things to see if the business grows or see if it doesn't, which leads me to my next point, which is an after-action review. Guys, at the end of every action, engagement, encounter, task, hobby, interest, podcast, conversation, lunch, whatever, you really need to be contemplating the results of your performance. Did it work? And you need to be very objective. I know at times we can trick ourselves and fool ourselves into thinking that we're doing better than we actually are, but unless you're measuring the things that you want to improve, you have no idea as to whether or not they're improving. So if you want to lose weight and get strong, you need to document your weight and you need to document how much weights you're lifting. If you want to become a faster runner, then you need to measure how fast you're currently running and how fast you're getting. If you want to grow your wealth, you need to look at where your cash is coming and where it's going and how much you have invested and what your assets are and what your liabilities are. You need to test those things. If you're trying to build a relationship, you need to come up with some metrics about, am I being a good father? Am I coaching my kids' teams? Am I spending one-on-one time with them? Am I having deep and meaningful conversations? Am I actually tracking those things? Because if I'm not, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm being a good dad. I'm putting food on the table. It's not enough, guys. It's not enough for me. And I don't think it's enough for you. So this is a 3-part system. And I work very well. If you've been following for any amount of time, you know these Friday Field Notes are always about the frameworks that I use to have success in my own life to varying degrees. But the framework is very simple. Know what you want. And only then can you ask, are the things that I'm doing leading me to what I want? That's the will it make the boat go faster mantra. And then the third component is, did it actually work? Did it make the boat go faster, so to speak? If it did, keep doing it. If it didn't, try something new. But give yourself permission to experiment. Give yourself permission to try new things. Give yourself permission to pivot and adjust when things aren't working. And we always, as objectively as we can, base it on, will it make the boat go faster? That's one of the things that, among others, that I really like about this mantra is that it's objective. If in a rowing competition, and trust me, I know nothing about rowing at all, but if they're rowing 5 kilometers, I don't know if that's too little, too much, I have no idea. But if they're rowing 5 kilometers, they can see it took us this long, and here's what we did. We trained this way, or we all lost weight, or we rowed a different stroke, or we gained weight and put muscle on, or we started to eat these things and didn't do this. You can look and actually see, did that make you actually faster or not? So you have to objectify the results. It's very easy to make them subjective because we're so emotionally vested in our decision-making process that if we're wrong or it didn't work, then we could possibly view that as an indictment against our character. It's not. It just means it didn't work. And I would say it's an indictment against your character if you don't pivot and something didn't work. It would classify you, at least from where I sit, as stubborn or arrogant or hard-headed. And none of those are very redeeming qualities. So guys, plan your goals, plan your objectives, plan what you want. Use our free resources, orderaman.com/battle-ready. Then start testing one at a time, by the way. We don't need to change everything all at once because if we do that, things will change, right? If you do different things, you'll achieve different results for better or worse in your life, but you won't know what to attribute those results to. So you don't need to change everything all at once. That's a huge mistake a lot of guys make. So for example, they're trying to get fit and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm going to diet, I'm going to cut out carbs, I'm going to reduce my caloric intake, I'm going to increase my water intake, I'm going to go to the gym for 45 minutes every single morning for 6 days a week, and then I'm going to do cardio 3 days a week. It's like, whoa. Hold on. Like, we'll get there. We can get there. I promise. You have time. And the healthier you get, the more time you'll have, but we'll get there. Just for now, let's just change one thing and see if it works. If it works, then we'll stay with that, and then we'll incorporate something else. So that's the will it make the boat go faster mantra. And then again, the third component is the after action review. We also have a free resource for that too, which is at orderofman.com/AAR as an after action review. You can check that out as well. Guys, I hope that helps. I'm going to dive into this more, and I'm going to ask myself when I do my own plan, and I've got my battle planner right here. It's on my desk every day because I go through it every single day. When I do things, or when I'm tempted to do things, that's another thing. A lot of guys have vices and temptations and things that are keeping them from accomplishing what they want to accomplish, whether it's pornography addiction or alcohol abuse or gambling or just being lazy and being distracted or letting their emotions get the better of them. You can ask yourself, is what I'm doing in this moment, this very moment, making the boat go faster? If it's a yes, you're good. Keep doing it. If it's a no, stop the behavior, do something else more effective. And guys, last thing on the note of will it make the boat go faster? I've spent a lot of time thinking about the events that we've done over the past nearly a decade now. And I remember thinking how hard it was at first to get people to events because I didn't know how to do it. And then I remember years into the process thinking how easy it was to get people to events because we sold out all of our events. And what I'm realizing now is that everybody has an event. There's a program, there's a course, there's an event, there's a mastermind, there's a this, there's a that. Every single person on the planet has something they want you to attend. We're busy. We have a lot of time we don't have a lot of time to do unnecessary things. So I had this thought years ago, but it just came to fruition over the past several months that if we all have events, what if we banded together? So instead of going to my event, and that guy's event, and that guy's event, and that guy's event, and that guy's event, and you could go to 7 or 8 or 10 different events throughout the year, which you can't handle, it's not possible. We brought all the events together to one place where you got to hear from some of the things that I share and some of the things that Larry Hagner with the Dad Ed shares, or Connor Beaton with Man Talks, or Matt Vincent with Not Dead Yet, or Matt Boudreau with Apogee Strong. We also just had Sathya Sam come in and secure his spot as a speaker at this event, and Dr. Robert Glover with No More Mr. Nice Guy. Guys, I don't want you to go to all the events. You can't do that. You want to be there? I jump on Instagram sometimes. I'm like, I want to be at that event. I can't do them all. But you can come to one that incorporates all of them with it. So if you're interested, check it out. It's at The Men's Forge, themensforge.com. And you're going to get access to me and the guys from my community, Larry, Matt, Connor, Robert, Sathya, and a couple other guests that we're working with right now. That's May 1st through the 4th, 2025, just outside of St. Louis. It's at themensforge.com. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. We will be back on Tuesday for our interview. Until then, go out there, take action, ask yourself, will it make the boat go faster, and become the man you are meant to be.